Now we are going to hear from a couple of dynamic duos, I have called them, and we hope that they deliver, of course. They are going to share with us some strategic partnerships that are going on in the industry, and really we're going to look at how these partnerships have come together and how technology is driving a lot of the success in these partnerships. I have also asked a wonderful friend of mine, Kate Harden-England, who is the editor of Travolution, to moderate this particular panel, or these couples, as it were. So I'm going to ask Kate onto the stage and take a seat. Thank you, Kate. Very much appreciate you being here today. And then I would like to invite our first power couple to the stage. It's Lukas Hempel from BookingKit, who's back. I'm delighted to have you back here with us. And we've got Abel from Beckerbillett, GmbH. Please go with Lukas and sit down for now. And we have also got André, Marques, who's from the Northern Lights Village, and André Carini, who's CEO of FareHarbor. Please go and take a seat, gentlemen. And what I would ask you to do is to go and take a seat, and the stage is first going to be given to Ole and Lukas. I don't know if you feel that you could stand over this side. Is that all right? Because then it's a little bit easier for your fellow panelists to have a listen and a good look. And I will also be looking and listening in. So the stage is yours.
Thanks so much, Charlotte. It's a pleasure being here again. This is my kitchen table. So this Sunday, I was sitting there in the morning, having my morning coffee, reading a bit the news, and thinking, what can I actually do on this free Sunday? So I have a bit of time to spare. I thought, okay, what would be a good thing to do? And me personally, I love museums. Someone else in the room likes museums? So I love those. I think it's one of the greatest things we have in Europe, with those rich museums, with buildings hundreds of years old, with like cultural heritage. This is amazing, the amount of stuff we have in Europe. And when I have a bit of free time, I love to dive into those cultural heritage. So if you know me a bit, I'm a quite techie guy. So if I go into there, I try to build my own audio guide with one of the AI models. So I went into it and just said, yeah, let's maybe tell me a bit about this painting, tell me a bit about the artist. I typically go into there and say, okay, this room, what was the music which was played back then? And then I put it on Spotify and have just ChatGPT read me a bit. So this is for me the nice combination of this hundreds of years old building and art combined with modern day technology. And as all the people around, so you just raised your hand before you can go to the museum, typically you need a ticket. And I use ChatGPT for the audio guide, so I tried to buy my ticket online, but in that specific case I was unable to. So I opened the web shop, it just said there's no ticket. So I thought, yeah, maybe the museum is closed that day. It was actually not. It was just a misconfigured web shop. Because this huge cultural heritage state was unable to sell tickets online. And so what did I do? I did it the old way. I went there. And it was really amazing. There were like 200 people queuing in front of one person selling tickets. And I can tell you this was the cutest person I've seen in my life selling tickets. So once it was finally my turn, I went there and he explained me everything. Like the one painting is in the other room and there's a bit of construction. He took all the time in the world for me. So it was amazing because it was a terrific experience, just you had to queue 200 people to buy your ticket. And so I'm asking myself, is maybe ticketing on the same stage or the same age, like this hundreds of years old building? Now you might think, okay, Lukas, that's your nice example, nice story, but I've seen it otherwise. But actually the reality is 4 out of 5 major attractions in Europe run on outdated ticketing. So it's a huge thing that not all the products are great, we have great heritage, but the ticketing is from the last century. I'm Lukas, I'm founder and CEO of BookingKit, one of the leading booking and ticketing platforms in Europe.
Thank you very much. Yeah, hi, my name is Ole. I'm the CEO of Beckerbillett, so it's right spoken in German. Well, we're more than 75 years in the business, combined with Booking Kit. We have more than 88 years of experience. And when everyone take a look onto the printed blank, what you get at the counter when you enter the ITB, it stands very little on the back, Beckerbillett Hamburg. And that's us. So we're pretty known to everyone in the museum business. So at least nearly everyone is buying their tickets with us. And so we had to find ticketing that we are more the IoT guys, that ticketing at the point of sale needs to be fluent, like Lukas just said. And so we are the guys providing the hardware, the ticket, the point of sale, and the hardware there. So our newest product is the sales terminal, like everyone is knowing it from McDonald's, IKEA, where you are buying in front, like nobody is going to the point of sale anymore. So you need these devices in front of the venue, the museum, at the entrance, where you can buy your ticket more fluently. So we are that guys, the IoT guys. You're the guys for the online. Of course, we have an online shop as well, but we have more features in the Booking Kit part. So we are the guys doing everything from the IoT. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thanks very much. And like our job as Booking Kit is to bring all the digital channels in one unified place. Yeah? So if you think about that museum you've heard earlier, to make a good ticket experience, you want to sell tickets on site, maybe with a bit shorter queue. You also want to sell tickets on your own web shop. That's super important. But you also want to sell tickets with TripAdvisor, Get Your Guide, Viator, Google, you name them, we have them. And our job is to aggregate all those different channels into one central system and then connect all those different bookings to all your operating systems, which might be your POS and entry system, like Ole's Beckerbillett, which might be other, like your accounting and marketing system. But you know, it can be a bit boring just to talk features the entire time. So I'm product responsible founder. I can tell you features 5 days in a row. But it's a lot more fun to actually talk customers. Yeah, to talk about joint activities. And all those customers we've listed here are actual customers we are doing together. So large attractions, observation decks, museums, we are helping sell their tickets online. So someone in the room, I asked earlier for museums, someone in the room into city trips. City trips, anyone? That's yeah, so maybe we can actually combine the two, museum and city trip. So there is one, we don't have favorite customers, but Bastian here is from Cableway Koblenz, and it's a terrific product to actually visit the city of Koblenz. You can see it from the top of it all. So it's a Cableway product, and they're working exactly in this combination. Yeah, so they're using Beckerbillett, they're using Booking Kit. And we actually invited Bastian here so you can fully trust us on everything you say. Sometimes salespeople will tell you, yeah, it's all great. But you can go talk to him or to us afterwards. And so what we have achieved there is just incredible. So preparing for this presentation, we did a longer interview. And the two facts the guys shared with us is that while introducing this combination of Beckerbillett and Booking Kit, they could halve their administrative work. Yeah, so half the entire administrative work. And sometimes I know people feel overwhelmed with like the amount of channels and functionality and complexity it means to manage this. But actually, this is a real customer saying, this helped me reduce my admin time by half. And who the hell likes admin time? On the other hand, you could say, yeah, maybe just the business was stable, but they just gave us this number of since 2019, more than 6-folding their revenue. So it's just amazing of what they have achieved in this combination. So I'm super happy to be able to power you guys. Thanks for that. So we want to make it a bit more interactive. So after the next presentation, we also have a Q&A session. You can ask questions. If you feel like for the last panel, it's not enough, we could ask. You can visit us. Our booth is around the corner there. We have a joint booth with Beckerbillett and Booking Kit together. We can discuss it all into detail. If you want to sit with one of the experts, you can also make an appointment with the QR code there, and then someone will take time for you. Thanks very much. Excited for your questions.
Well, thank you all for being here today. We are the second power couple, André and Andrea, to make it simple for you. So we have chosen the same name. I'm the CEO of FareHarbor, a leading operating system for the tour activities and attractions. And André is one of our clients. And what we would like to do today is, rather than go through a lot of different slides, give you a real-life experience of what André has been going through. So before we get into anything else, André, would you like to introduce yourself and the company you work for?
So I'm André. I'm the GM at Northern Lights Village, and we currently have 265 units of glass roof accommodation. The idea was to be a one-stop shop for offering accommodation, experiences, transportation from the airport. And we do also offer reindeer safaris, husky experiences, snowmobile, and whatnot.
Wow, glass roof accommodations. Picture it in the middle of Lapland, in the middle of Finland. Beautiful. And tell us also more, how did you get into this industry, right? So, and why did you choose to use software to improve your business, your operations for yourself, your colleagues, and your customers?
We started out with 20 cabins and a spreadsheet. So, but we realized pretty quickly that we needed a more scalable solution as we were growing. And we decided to go and look for software to improve the guest experience, but also streamline our processes, and also take advantage of some market opportunities, such as offering the activities that we offer to our own guests, also to guests that are staying in other hotels nearby. Yeah, so that's how we.
Standing, right? So, and you have a lot of customers that are staying at your properties and also using your activities, but also other customers want to do and book your activities staying in other hotels. Tell us, how has been the online booking experience for your guests and for yourself?
We had a different solution for a brief period before, and Bronny from the FareHarbor family, I call it family because it was a very small company in Hawaii at the time, and was very knowledgeable about the software, but did offer me some reassurance when I said, because of the 6% online booking fee, will perhaps my online revenue now drop? And he said, don't worry, it will double. He was wrong. It tripled. So it has shown to be very successful. And that in FareHarbor, that's what really caught my attention at first, how knowledgeable, and they really showed that they cared for our business and they helped us do the setup. I was quite hands-on myself, and due to the time difference in the mornings, ended up speaking with the night shift there. And yeah, especially Chris, the love lady at the time, was really, really keen on helping. But let me tell you also one thing about FareHarbor these days, because now it's not such a small company anymore, and you would think that as you scale, perhaps customer service becomes less personal, but that's not the case with us. We have an actual dedicated team. They reply super quickly. It's quite remarkable with FareHarbor.
Thank you very much. You mentioned to us, right, so you started with a small, limited number of rooms and a spreadsheet. You eventually grew, right, so in the organizations that you are today, right, so walk us through what has been the secret, right, so of your success. How has FareHarbor helped you in this stage? But predominantly, I'm sure that the audience here wants to know, what are your plans for 2025?
An important factor to grow was definitely to go to travel fairs and build exposure, but then also backing it up afterwards with actually delivering those memorable experiences, and having then a sales team that's attentive and takes care of our partners that helped us grow our business. Now with FareHarbor, it obviously helps us streamline The online booking process also facilitates the reselling of experiences to our partners. And that's where I was talking about the market opportunity earlier, was that at the time, in 2018, lots of other local hotels, they were still just calling the activities company and saying, hey, I have here some people who would like to book an activity. And I know many receptionists, including myself many years ago, didn't really want to go through the trouble of getting of calling back and forth. So I went around and introduced FareHarbor to other hotels, and they, to this day, still book with us online. And not only that, but they have also, as I mentioned earlier, adopted FareHarbor for their own operations. And looking forward, we do want to, for the future, keep doing what we're obviously doing well and reviewing our process continuously. But also, when it comes to tech, we leave that to FareHarbor. We won't do it ourselves. We tried some custom development, but you are the expert, so we will leave it to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You are known, at least within FareHarbor, as a pro user of our software. You know inside out how it works. At the same time, we know that not everything has been automated by FareHarbor yet. Can you walk us through how you're using the data from FareHarbor and ChatGPT to improve the experience for your guests?
So indeed, not everything is as automated as I would hope it to be. Perhaps in the future it will. But at least we're able to extract the data that we need from FareHarbor. And we're in the early stages of testing out with ChatGPT how we can make the process for scheduling and assigning resources and crew faster. But early testing does show that the 8 hours a day that it takes for 2 people to do the assignments and manage the resources, that can really be reduced to 20 minutes, half an hour. So that's what we're looking for, and having built into FareHarbor some AI tools in the future to help us with that. But we continue trying to automate things, and we're actually now partnering with Book Boost as well in order to leverage the data from the various systems and build this sort of powerhouse of information that we can use to improve the customer experience and our internal processes.
Thank you, André. So thank you very much, everyone here. I hope that this small presentation has helped you consider Finland, and specifically Lapland, as your next destination for your trip. And we're going to resume back the panel with the rest of our colleagues. Please, André.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, all of you, as well, for sharing that with us. We had lots of insights there. Thank you to Charlotte for welcoming Travolution back to the stage at ITB once again, and thank you to the ITB team for having us. I do not thank you, however, though, for trying to cram everything I want to in 25 minutes, so that's very naughty of you. But only because we want to unpack more on kind of what we've just heard and seen from yourselves, so thank you for that. Let's come to yourselves, Ole and Lukas, first. I mean, I know that Travolution, for instance, is seeing a growingly increase in the amount of news that we're seeing for joint vendor collaborations land on our desk. Why do you think that is? You know, what's changing in the industry? Are we seeing a change? And really, who's driving that change? You know, is it yourselves as vendors thinking, I actually I fancy working with that partner, they're really cool guys over there? Or is it really the customer demand and you thinking, right, for us to be able to deliver against that customer demand, we need to pair up, we need to work with someone?
I think it's when you look at the perspective of an operator in our industry and like what is expected of you, it's like customers expect you to reply 24/7 Sunday night about all the stuff. Is it open? The expectation is higher. People want to book both on Google, on your website, and they want to have a seamless experience directly on site. So just the expectations are completely different. And now you're there with the same team as before, or in many cases even struggle to hire operational people. And now comes this combination of what you call the power couples, us is just combining what we do best, yeah, because BookingKit is really terrible at doing on-site operations. We don't do it. We don't have turnstiles. We don't have POS, all of that. And so we partner with companies such as Ole's company to really bring that together, and many other companies. And this allows us to hyper-focus on what we do best. And for example, if you see what you can do with web shops, I think last year we invested roughly 2 million euro in our web shop product to just increase conversions by 6% again and again. And so this gives you this peak of, okay, you can, the tiny tweaks really help the customer experience. And it's just amazing with all the channels you can then connect to have that so seamlessly with your on-site experience, because you still need that.
So you're remaining customer-centric with your decisioning. Would you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we need to concentrate on our core competencies, what we can do best. Of course, we have an online shop, but the one from BookingKit is a bit more fancy than ours. And we're concentrating more on the IoT. So we're the good guys having the software for the back office, the administrating stuff. But when it comes to the online part, and especially our problem was nearly everyone approached us. It's not only BookingKit. Everyone approached us and said, like, when a customer comes to our place and says, look, guys, we would like to attach, for example, Expedia, Booking.com, Get Your Guide, everyone to your system. And we were like, okay, yeah, we can do that, but why not searching for a vendor, having all them already in place, connecting to them, and multiply the channels you can get. And that was what was the, yeah, we came to the conclusion not to do it on our own, but to find somebody.
Brilliant. And that makes a lot of sense. And coming back to yourselves, I mean, you're very much the traditional model that we see in the industry right now, that we all know. You're 10 to the dozen, buyer-supplier relationship. I mean, coming to you, André, what was your non-negotiables, your top threes when you were searching for the perfect fit vendor? You know, what were they centered around? I mean, I think you touched upon in your discussion just there about, you know, the fact that they're so responsive at FareHarbor. Was that your number one, or was it something else?
That's definitely in the top three. And having a dedicated account manager, that it's sort of our bridge between the company and our business, because as we grow our operations, and it's a bigger business and there's a lot happening, you need to have someone that can help sort the problems out for you as they come, and to actually kind of convey to you where the system is heading, to reassure you what you want. And that comes to another point, that is continuous innovation. Because if a software stands still, I'm sorry, we will eventually look for something else.
You heard it here first.
No, but another point is that it continues releasing new features that can actually help us, and FareHarbor is really good at that, at listening to us. The contacts that we have with FareHarbor, you wouldn't expect that from a bigger company. They connect us with a product team. They want to understand our needs and develop accordingly. And the other one is really UI, UX, that is not buggy, that you enjoy working with it. I mean, because you have to look at it plenty of hours throughout the day. Hopefully not so much soon with the ChatGPT integration. But yeah, those are sort of the non-negotiables for me.
And then Andrea, you know, it sounds like André keeps you accountable. You know, how do you keep your clients happy?
Well, I think that André has already mentioned pretty much everything that needs to be said, right? So it's this combination of creating great software, but also offering a very human service tied to it. We do know that most of our clients are out and about all day. They may be proficient with the software, but they may not have the time to use the software directly. So we pride ourselves of having a service and account manager organization that can answer the queries of all of our clients in 1 to maximum 2 hours. 98% of all of our tickets are completed in 1 or 2 hours, because we do know that the consumer experience depends on the ticket. And we do know that our clients are mostly very, very busy. And also because we have created a business model for ourselves that creates all the right incentives for us to make sure that we invest the energy that André needs to make his business successful. Our model works with a no cure, no pay system. So if we are unable to serve André, we don't have a business either.
But just coming back to your point about the service time of 1 to 2 hours, do you have plans to increase that to a much faster rate even in the next sort of 1 to 2 years?
We definitely try. So there are certain activities that we can complete on behalf of our clients in 1 or 2 hours because they're relatively simple. But sometimes the ask from André can take maybe 10 or 15 hours to be completed, especially when they want to rebuild completely their mapping of distributors for next year, or they want to completely revamp their pricing. So I think we are really at the limit of what we can do. In terms of speed of execution, what we are trying to do is to make sure that some of these things are done by us, but not because the client is unable to do it themselves, because it's their choice. So we try to make the software as easy as possible for users to use, but at the same time be there to help them, when needed. We also know that Andrea and many other of our clients employ a lot of seasonal staff. They may or may not know how to use the software. So again, we have to keep it extremely simple, but also being one simple phone call away to fix any problem.
Brilliant. So coming back to yourselves, moving on, I think, there's obviously a very natural fit. You said you had all of these players coming to you and you wanted to connect to all of them. They were the obvious fit. What were the learnings coming out of your partnership? What are the key kind of messagings that you would take away and advise to other vendors that are going into this joint collaboration? And what was the impact on your customers as well? I know that you've delved into it a bit. We saw some great results, but I'd love you to kind of expand further on that.
We are tech people, and a lot of tech people tend to have this bias to focus on technical solutions. And one of the key learnings for me was to put the customer experience and the customer success first. Because in a lot of cases, we build connectivity, we build integrations, and then we just talk to people actually using it, and they were like, okay, it's not really working. And so we completely changed our approach to put the success of the customer first and to really deconstruct what does it mean, And if you're an attraction operator, you have many different things you want to achieve, So you can want to have more bookings, more diversified bookings, different customer groups. You want to tap in now the Asian travelers coming more to Europe again, so that this rebounds. And we really help you. How can you achieve this a business goal? What makes you successful, and what are the technical tools which help you achieve that? And I think that's really our approach to say, okay, what do you want to achieve as a customer? What's success for you, for your end customers as well? And how can we provide a technical solution to that?
So did you guys embark on some surveys or something? How did you get that feedback from your clients to really understand what they were looking for from
I was just counting in my head. I think we have roughly half the headcount which is here with us is salespeople, so actually talking to people, and half the people headcount is product and partnership people talking to partners and understanding how can we improve our product. Because from our experience, it's really all about sitting with the operational people who do it, sitting with the management to really understand what is needed to achieve those great results. We've heard from the case from Copeland's and many other customers to really see how can we make you successful and what are the barriers to actually achieve that success. And that's, I think, customer by customer, very, very different. And we really try to engage beyond surveys a lot in just success conversations, face-to-face conversations, visiting customers, and just staying in touch.
And yourself, Ole, have you found that from the partnership between your two firms, have you found that actually you've diversified your client set, you've grown, you've got more now that you can have this joint offering that you've improved on?
Yes, of course. Well, it's pretty much you need to have such a partner nowadays. Otherwise, you do not get the very shiny customers anymore. So it is. It was not a question not to be doing it. It's just a question of when are we doing it, because they have the experience in the online world and we have the experience on the on-site. Of course, we are not afraid of the online world, but yeah, others can do things there better than we. So, and we have a lot of more customers approaching us. You're working with BookingKit. Why not taking your software in our houses? So yes.
So a little bit of what André did for FareHarbor and saying, you know, word of mouth. We've noticed that you're working with that vendor. We want to work with you too because we've seen the excellence in it. We've seen the real value that you're delivering for us. Wonderful. Coming back to you guys, I mean, I know that you have already alluded to, André, in your presentation with Andrea, that you've managed to scale. You've grown from 20 cabins to 3 resorts across the Finland region. The Lapland region in Finland, even. I mean, I think you did allude to this as well when you said that that was a kind of driver for you. You wanted that scalability, and working with FareHarbor has essentially realized that, made that a possibility for yourselves. How critical was that to business operations and to business dealings? I mean, was it a case of how early on did you realize that you needed to get that through an external party and technology provider?
No, pretty quickly we realized that we had to do something. It couldn't be with a spreadsheet. We were with another vendor at first, and I do find that that they're sort of interchangeable. It really depends on the connection then you build with the provider, and whether they actually actively listen to you. So yeah, we moved to FareHarbor, and every time we have a new property opening, we have our account manager all excited and ready to help us out with everything we need. And that's one of the things that FareHarbor does, is they offer to build everything for us. So when it comes to also creating availabilities, it can be a lot of work. So you can just ask customer service to do it, and they will. Yeah, so that's why we see FareHarbor at the moment as a software that we wouldn't be looking to change for something else. And as long as that continues,
it's a big milestone. I mean, it's great that they get excited about it. That's exactly what you do. You're in the wrong job if you don't get excited about some new work coming your way, in my opinion anyway. But, I mean, like, how long really were you with that other vendor that wasn't servicing your needs? You know, like, you made a switch. You realized that this wasn't serving your needs. And how long were you with that vendor that before you realized, okay, the switch needs to happen now. We're going to start looking for that new shiny customer, as it was mentioned over here?
Oh, it was less than a year.
Okay.
And it's not that vendor wasn't doing what we needed it to do, but we found FareHarbor, and we thought that this system is going to grow and it's going to be a market leader. Luckily, it did end up happening, because if we had to do the switch now, with so many reservations in the system, as we have grown with 3 resorts, it wouldn't be so easy to do at this point anymore as it was back in 2018.
Yeah. And Andrea, coming back to the industry as a wide perspective, you know, I mean, 2018, did you say, André, that you made the move to FareHarbor? Okay, so pre-pandemic we're talking, and we're now post-pandemic. So how have we seen that for our industry really change, and what's happened in the tours, attractions, and activities space?
Thank you for the question. We have a lot of clients all around the world, right? So not just Andrea, right? So that has joined us before the pandemic. So we look at all those clients who were there with us before the pandemic, and they're still with us today. And we did a like-for-like comparison to try to understand how trends have changed and to be data-driven in decisions we take on behalf of our clients, but also in the way we want to develop our software. We've talked to a lot of clients, a lot of operators in the industry that are saying that their book window, so the time between the customer is booking and the experience is consumed, that it has been shrinking after the pandemic. Yeah. In reality, we've looked at our data and we see that actually it has not shrunk, right? So actually that book window has increased from an average globally of 16 days to 20 days. And also the number of bookings that are booked last minute, so let's say same day or the day before the experience, has stayed stable, for instance, here in Europe, around 40%. What has changed quite dramatically is the fact that the share of mobile bookings, both for last minute and also for long-term booking, so booked maybe 30, 60 days in advance, has shifted a lot. So now in almost all the markets we're in, 70 to 80% of all the bookings are happening on a mobile device. So we spend a lot of energy helping our clients understand what type of content you need to share on a mobile device, what type of description needs to go on a mobile device, so that we can help increasing the user experience for the customers and increasing conversion rate for our clients. All that effort has helped us realize that the conversion rate of our clients has increased more than 20% just on mobile alone in this period. So what we're seeing is that there is a lot of aggression to the mean on the way consumer wants to travel. So the book windows has reverted to what they were doing before, but definitely mobile is the way consumers want to book. And whether it's a small or big purchase, whether it's let's say a complicated plan or an easy plan to do, most consumers, 70 to 80%, are now using a mobile device.
Wow. Yeah, go for it.
Is there operators in the room? Someone operates tours, activities, attractions? Because I'm passionate about one thing, pricing. And we just did a very similar analysis. In the last 2 years, we compared January this year to January 2 years back. We saw roughly people had the same amount of tickets sold, and they were able to increase their prices in average by 21%. So if you did not increase your prices in this inflationary context, meet at the booth and I'll do the personal pitch on why you should improve your prices, and it's possible also in your product, because I think I see so many operators who are, for the good reason, too reluctant to increase prices, and it's something we are seeing in our data that it's possible customers are willing to pay more and more, also depending a bit on the product mix, maybe establishing VIP products, stuff like that. So if you take one thing from today is forget all about the 5 of us, increase your prices in your booking system this afternoon.
Yeah, so the demand is there, and if you haven't increased maybe as high as 21%, you could probably get away with going a bit higher. So thank you for that. I mean, as a consumer myself, I understand that everything is going up, skyrocketing. The cost of living is impacting that, but I know that everything is going up, so it's only natural that that is also going to go up and follow suit. So I'm happy to pay it because I don't want to miss out and lose out. I love that we've had 2 very different examples here, but one that's different to the norm, as it were, is the one between yourselves. And I want to know, from your experience, are you going to do any more? What's the future going to hold for you? Going to diversify and go into more vendor relationships with others in the market, in the industry? Or how are you going to scale your businesses in the future? Do you think you'll enter into any more of these?
So I started my first software company when I was 19 years old, and while I still believe that can't be that long ago, you can look at me, it's been some time. And I think with AI technology, we are witnessing the single most important element in software development since we invented graphical user interfaces. So I think the booking kit you're going to use in 2 years' time is going to be dramatically different from the booking kit you used 2 years ago, because we will change those interactions. And I'm with you that it's frustrating to put availability schedules for new sites into it. And I'm thankful that the FareHarbor team says, okay, we'll just do it for you. And in many cases, we also do it for you. But that cannot be the solution. The solution has to be better than that. And we see it with end customer behavior, like when you have interactions with end customers, but also the way you use like your software today. And so I think that's the single biggest thing which will change in the next months to come.
Let me just add there to the usability of things. Of course, it's not the answer that the support team does everything, but that's one thing FareHarbor has been focusing on, is on the usability of it. For example, you can now duplicate availabilities from 1 year to the other, make there certain changes in bulk. And one thing that I can really advocate for FareHarbor is really how you have this sort of empty canvas approach to manage your availability. You can change something for a day because, you know, with activities, it's a very there's a lot of variability. And one day the Huskies maybe have to do a shorter run, or we have to start later, or the sun starts coming up now, starts staying up later. in the end of March. So for those days, we are going to have to change the times. So just to say there, when it comes to usability, that's something also where FareHarbor is catching up. But again, it's great they're still willing to do all that for us, despite them growing at this level.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about Beckerbillett? Are they going to be entering into any other partnerships and collaborations?
Well, partnerships. Of course, we are entering all the time new partnerships with different vendors. But I totally agree to what just Lukas said, that AI is the most crucial thing we need to implement into our software. So. Of course, we're not blocked after we're bound now with or connected to BookingKit. We're connecting to other vendors as well.
Okay. I'm conscious we're out of time. I've unfortunately eaten up all these gentlemen's time, so we don't have time for any questions. But please do approach them. They will be around. As you know, they've all got potentially got booths as well. So please do check them out on the ITB app and search where they are. You can get the exact location. Please give them a huge round of applause. Thank you so much for joining us.